All right. Hey, my name's Christian Lee here for Iram Digital. I'm here with, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Max Leonard. Um, that's it.
Hey, that's all you need. That's all you need. But yeah, Max and I, we talked. We're both doing great today. And speaking of great, obviously, I think the vibes are good for you because you just dropped a project last week, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, last Friday I dropped my first ever EP, first
Yeah,
solo
first ever
song.
EP. It's sick. It's sick. And so, obviously, if you people don't know, I don't even know if they could even see on the recording, but you're in a group called Biking with Francis. But
Yeah.
this is, like you said, your first solo EP. And so what brought this up?
Yeah, honestly, like I graduated college in August. And I just had a lot of free time, that like post graduation, like kind of just a bunch of open time, and we were just making a bunch of music. And I don't know, working with the guys in biking like Garrett Sparrow and Joshua Raw really got me back into like got that muscle of making music working again, because I just taken time off just between like school and trying to graduate and like relationships, just work, like all
Mhm.
that life stuff kind of took over. And it was nice because the biking, like just trio, kind of brought me out of my shell. And I just kind of kept running with what we were doing. And I just had these songs, and it started out, I was overly ambitious. I was like coming out swinging with an album. And then I was
Dang.
like, nobody's going to listen to that. Let me just take 5 songs, entice people, and then we'll save the albums for later. But I'm very happy with it. Um, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're saying there's like some songs that you're just keeping in your back pocket for later then, for maybe
Yeah,
when you do drop an album.
I got a little vault building up. I got a nice little vault building up.
That's cool. And I noticed on your Instagram, like I think you posted, was it yesterday? You said Ballad was your best song that you put out. Why do you think
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think from a personal standpoint, it's the most me I've ever like a song's ever felt. Um and also just from the reactions of people that I like really keep close. Like there's a specific process I go through when I make something. First person I show is Garrett, because he's like the person who got me into music,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we kind of think about music similarly, but there's a difference there. So like I know if I get a reaction from him that I've got something. And then next is Matt, my mom, and my sister Mia. Matt, because Matt's the goat, and like he clearly has great music taste because he rocks with us and Biking with Francis and Jonah Greek, Tommy Richmond, all those guys. But also just because I trust his musical opinion. And then my sister, because she just listens to everything, and my mom's my biggest fan, so
Of
that
course.
was just a nice little confidence boost.
Mm.
But I think it's just the way it came about. I'd had the chords, started making it. My buddy Doug was over. We do this thing called Beat Day, where every Thursday we just get a bunch of people in the Charlotte area who like make music, and they just come to our house, and we just
That's
like
so sick.
make beats
Dang.
all day. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And like, look, we had taken a little break, but looking back, like some of our best work has come from beat days. Ballad started on beat day, Cold Shoulder started on beat
Oh
day, Love
wow.
Sick. For the biking stuff, Cerberus started on the beat day. Um, well, there was one more. Oh, a song for one of Josh's songs that I won't name, but that one started on a beat day. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Ballad, I love the drums and the progression, and it just feels like a very me song. Like it just came from a pretty innocent place when I made it. I wasn't trying to like pull from anything else. I just kind of sat down and that's what came out. So yeah, it's just personal bias on that one.
No. Because I do like the project, but it is, obviously it's different from the stuff you do with your group Biking with Francis. I think,
Yeah.
you did I would what's the right word? I guess it's like more chill, it's more mellow. And so
Mm-hmm.
I could see why ballads would be your favorite. But for me personally, okay, so you dropped two music videos, and obviously, I think that Cold Shoulder, that music video, really good.
Thank you.
I think it's cool. I mean, like the theme is so like straightforward, but it's just cool that like you have like that woman just in the video and you're just straight ignoring the whole time, just singing. That's good. But then
Yeah.
I think my favorite, because I think it might be the most up tempo, is Lovesick. That's a good one too.
Awesome.
And I don't know who inspired, like whose music inspired this project, because from what I've listened to, It does give me David vibes if you know him.
Yeah, yeah, I do
Yeah.
actually. I really fun fact about him. I've never like spoken to him directly, but I remember seeing a video on TikTok because I like to stand on like I'm decently tapped in with new and up and
Yeah.
coming people, and I'll usually like see someone be like, oh, they kind of fine, and then like a couple months later, I'm like, oh, they up,
Mhm.
and I'd seen a video of his on TikTok, DM'd him like that night, and I was like, bro, it was one of those band lab. He was like one of the first people posting their band lab clips. And I was
Oh
like, bro,
damn.
I was like, this shit is crazy. Like, let me just send you some beats. Woke up next morning, he had 6K on Instagram and was sending me his manager's thing, and I was like, damn, I missed it. But
Uh
as far as inspiration goes, I'd say Frank Ocean is like my overarching like I love Frank Ocean. Blonde's my favorite project of all time. So like that kind of always seeps in. But with this one, I've been listening to Daniel Caesar's most recent
mhm.
project, Never Enough, like so much. Um, I really, really like it, just the sound and like how his style's matured. And that's for the more like mellow cuts, I'd say. Um, there's this one song on repeat called Alone Again Naturally by Gilbert O'Sullivan that Garrett actually texted it to me one day and I listened to it, I think like 20 times when I was like walking around campus that day. But that one kind of had a influence on Ballad. And then yeah, I was listening to this guy Isaiah Huron. He has a song Self that I really like that has a very
Oh wait, yeah. I love that song.
it's got that like that
Mhm.
kind of like those like 80s sounding drums. Um and then honestly, like Tommy Richmond, I love Tommy's music. He's just he makes super super unique stuff, and just that kind of 80s like I don't know that just this just goes. I just like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, Frank Ocean, Daniel Caesar. Um, oh, another dude I got to shout out is Greek. I love Greek's music. That's because he's more of a there's Daniel Caesars and that, and Greek's definitely one of those guys, but numbers wise, he's still underrated. And I just like appreciate like him and Tommy's like approach to music and how they like go about the videos and the projects and everything. Like it's very inspiring to look at and try and emulate in some form.
Yeah. And I'm wondering too, because you said that you were pretty motivated coming into this, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make an album worth. But then you
Yeah.
end up dropping this EP and it's these 5 songs. What made you pick these five specifically?
Um, honestly, I think they honestly were the first ones. These are the oldest
Okay.
songs on it. The only one that's very recent is the intro Jet Flux. I made that maybe a month and a half before the project
Oh
came out, but
wow.
the rest of them I had like the original like demos from like September, October, November. And so it was that core group, like those core four, really, I'd say the Cold Shoulder, Love Sick, You and I, and Ballad. I had those and I got excited and I was like, cool, like this is a really good core for an album. And I started like, maybe I'll do intro, outro, like acoustic, kind of just throwing ideas. And when doing that, I made some cool stuff, but nothing was really hitting like those original four. So I was like, all right, cool, 4 song EP. And then Jet Flux just came about, and I was like, this is a cool intro. And Mike, ISO Means War, did a crazy feature on it, and I just really liked it. And I knew that one was a little off kilter compared to the others, but I just liked it so much that I put it on there because why not?
All right. Hey, it's your project. You do what you want.
Exactly.
And I'm wondering too, because when I see you, I think, you give out vibes like, you used to play like maybe, like tennis, soccer, baseball, those type of vibes. But
Yeah.
you named the project judo. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering because, judo, like when you think of the sport too, it's like very like, like combat, hard hitting and everything. But then the
Yeah.
project seems a little bit more mellow. Why'd you name it judo?
Okay. In all complete honesty, I just thought it looked and sounded cool
It,
from the
it, it does sound
start,
sick,
from the
yeah.
starting point. Just because, like, when I started it Untitled, this app Untitled started, and like I just I was using that, and you can put like a project name or whatever, and I just needed a working project name, so I just chose that. And I also was in the midst of like, do I want to change my artist name
Oh, I see.
thing. And so I was like, Judo, like that's a hard name. Like, why not that? So then it went from me changing my artist name to Judo to cool, that's a project name. And that's really where it came from. As it developed, I could sit here and be like, yeah, like judo, there's the tenets of like combat and blah. I'm not gonna do all that. I just thought it sounded cool, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you're being straightforward. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, honestly, though, Max Judo, Judo Leonard, still sick names too, though.
Hey, man.
If
Yeah,
you
Max
ever
was
if you
pretty
ever jump
hard.
on it, yeah. And we're on the topic of sports too. And I don't know you too well, but I think I know you enough. And so, is it true that you saw? I don't want to butcher his name. Let's see, Zlatan Ibrahimović. That's his name, right?
Yeah,
You saw,
Zlatan.
yeah, you saw
Yeah.
him. Your what senior year? That was a gift. You went to LA.
Yeah.
You saw him play soccer.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
was the story behind that?
All right, so my dad, anytime for like my birthday, like my dad always does this thing where like he'll like print off a sheet. Like you kind of know it's coming by this point, but he'll print off a sheet and it's like, oh, we're gonna like go do this. Like, because big on experiences over things. And also like I've been blessed enough to have like my basic needs met. And like, you know, I got my guitar. I got my like I'm chilling. So my parents have always been very kind in that way. So, graduating, got that one. And Zlatan was like my favorite soccer player. Like I played soccer. I wore number 9 because he did. Like he's half Croatian, half Swedish. I'm half Croatian. Like that's my guy. And so
Okay,
my dad was like, we're gonna go out to LA. I'd never been, and my aunt lived there. We're gonna fly out there and stay with her. And that was really my first like experience out there. And it was awesome. We got to like go on the field. I got to see him warm up. I mean, dude,
sick.
like he's like I'm decently tall. Like I'm 6'2". My dad's 6'4". This dude's like 6'5". Like
Insane.
he's hitting the ball and it sounds like a shotgun's going off. Like we're on the field and like my dad goes like a ball's coming at us and he tries. My dad played goalie, so he went to like kind of palm it out the way. Dude, that shit hit his wrist and snapped him back, and he thought he tore his rotator cuff. Like, but yeah, it was crazy. We sat like right in the center, and he had 2 goals, and he actually scored one of them. It was like this reverse, like almost like a spinning back fist, but like with his foot, like a taekwondo ass goal, crazy. But yeah, that's insane. That was my first exposure to like California and going out there, and yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I was 17 when I graduated and I went out there, so that was like 5 years ago, which is crazy.
That was
But yeah,
crazy. You know what?
that's a
Maybe you know what?
deep cut.
Maybe that yeah, it is a deep cut. But you know what? Maybe that goal inspired judo in a way.
Dude, low key, like you were saying that, and I was like, wow, like my favorite soccer player ever is pretty like acrobatic with it like that. Like that's pretty hard.
It is hard. But you know what? It's been a lot of fun talking to you. This is sick. It's cool hearing about the project.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for like taking the time and the questions and that last bit. Like I'm cheesing from that. Like I haven't thought about that memory in so long. Like that's
It's
super
good
cool.
memory, good memory.
Yeah, dude,
But
that's awesome.
before we stop the interview, I just want to know, you on the victory lap, you just dropped the EP. Is there
Yeah.
anything coming up next? Another music video? Maybe like you're doing a show? You live in North Carolina. Maybe you'll collab with Mr. Beast. I don't know. Like what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, shout out Mr. Beast, man.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out Mr. Beast.
so as far as me, I'm gonna be dropping all year. But what's next up in my future is Biking with Francis is playing a music festival in Charlotte on May 5th called the Love and Life Festival.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so we'll be there. That'll be awesome. The third Biking with Francis EP is coming out, and then I'll be dropping some singles. Got some recording stuff to do, but yeah, Biking with Francis is what's next.
Hey man.
Then we're
I'm
back.
praying, definitely Biking with Francis, but your summer too.
Yeah,
It's never too late to drop like a EP show.
exactly. Yeah. No, we got some plans for sure.
Oh, all right. Wait, let me stop recording.